Good morning. It is Wednesday at 9:30 and we are at my daughter's field day. She was so excited this morning. It's bringing back all the memories of being in school and doing field day, so I'm excited for this. I probably won't record much. I might get some footage of her if I can without other kids in it, obviously. But we're gonna have a good little morning. Tomorrow's her last official day. She is going to, they have like just a classroom party with movie and pizza and popcorn tomorrow. So tomorrow don't really count, but I can't believe she's already done with pre-K. It's just crazy to me. So anyways, we are at the school. We're gonna have fun this morning. Thankfully it's nice. It's a little windy, but weather is good. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, so it's a good day. Happy Saturday, friends. It is nice outside. It's very sunny. I'm currently waiting for a delivery for my Flutter Habit lashes because I want to put them on today and it's my favorite ones. I've been missing for like a month. So I'm going to work on our front porch while I wait. And we're gonna have a good day. The house is clean. I spent 3 days cleaning this week. And yesterday I was so exhausted. Like I literally felt like I was dying a little bit. I was so tired. I thought I was getting sick. I was that like tired, but I'm not. I think I just killed myself a little bit with my cleaning. I also did like some reorganizing of kids' closets and clearing out some toys that I donated yesterday. And yeah, it's just been a busy week with my daughter's last day of school and cleaning and everything. So today we're working on the front porch. It is gross. It's a mess. I haven't done anything since Christmas time. I'll show you what we're working with and let's make it look good for summer. I want to get some potted flowers as well, but I don't think I'll do that this week, probably next weekend. And then we are just kind of doing some work around the house this weekend. So this was clean. Ignore that. The kids just have toys everywhere. So anyways, let's do this. All right, guys, this is the front porch. It is such a disgusting mess. This needs to go. We have this old camera up here that birds keep going on and pooping all over, so Lance is taking that down. Yes, I still have a Christmas bow on that. I did wash the window Thursday, but look, there's already like little kids and doggy friends on it, so we are gonna get this all cleaned up. So yeah, we're gonna clean this up. Ignore that, it's my husband's mail for work. I'm gonna do a new mat, get my new sign for the corner, and we'll see how this turns out. Okay, this is some of the stuff I pulled from the basement. This is all like my summery floral stuff, so I've got some wreaths to choose from for the front door. I also have some other stuff like decoration wise I want to throw around the house. We've got this little boxwood faux topiary I got like years ago, and then I have this. I got this at Sam's Club literally probably 2 summers ago, so that goes up front as well. So let's get this cleaned off first and then we will work on decorating. Okay, little refresh for now. I usually get like 2, you can kind of see the ring marks from last year, like 2 potted flowers, and then I'll get like a hanging one for this little corner. So probably get that next week, but much better. Christmas is gone. Got my little sign, got my wreath. Everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to do another one of these like little Q&As because I did have some more questions come through, and I thought I would kind of address those. And then I am going to do something that I just saw Bethany on Stop the Shunning YouTube channel do, and I love this. She calls it the F That Gratitude Journal, and she did it on her video. I think that came out, it was either yesterday or the day before, and it was basically like things that, you know, if I wasn't free, this is what my life would look like. And I love that. So we're going to do that at the end of this video because I just thought it was a great idea and I'm going to copy her a little bit. So by the way, if you haven't watched any of Bethany's work, which I'm sure you have, you should check out her channel. I love her. her videos. So let's get this started. We are going to, right out the gates, start with question number 1. So I actually had somebody ask me if, since I've left, if there have been other local people who have left as well. So yes, I have not only like heard through the grapevine of people, I've had some reach out to me. I have met up with some for like coffee and stuff. And it's just been amazing to see like more and more people waking up and kind of seeing this religion for what it is. And it's kind of awesome to, you know, have them reaching out, and or even just people like from my past who may not be local that have left, seeing me like put my story out there and like opening up conversations finally about things that they have thought and felt for years. It's been awesome to see. So yes, I think just across the board, more and more people are leaving. Um, I am a firm believer that the organization cannot run and hide from the internet. Between TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, even just Google searches, like people are waking up and they're not going to be able to stop that from happening. So it's been very awesome to see happening, and I hope more and more continue to leave. If you are in Colorado, reach out to me. Maybe we live near each other and we can meet up for coffee because I do love connecting with everyone. So anyways, yes, there has been some that have left. Let's see. Another question I had. Would you call them a cult? 100% yes. I know that there are some who leave that maybe aren't comfortable adding that title to the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I 100% say it's a cult. My reasoning for that is, if you look at the bite model, if you are familiar with cults, I'm sure you've seen Dr. Stephen Hessen's bite model, and like just it's kind of bullet points of how cults, whether that is a religion, a political group, a any sort of group, how they kind of function in and how they control your thinking process. It is eye-opening. So I'm going to just go through a few of them. So bite model stands for behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. And there's bullet points within each of those. And when I was researching this, when I was starting to deconstruct, Jehovah's Witnesses checked off so many boxes. There were a few, yes, that they did not match. It wasn't anything like the JWs do, but the majority of them are spot on. And to me, that is a huge red flag. Like, yes, this is a cult. So I'm just going to go through a couple of these with you. If you have not heard it, highly recommend looking it up. I really enjoy reading about all of this. But for instance, behavior. They have rigid rules. They have rewards and punishments. There is a dependence and obedience. All of those match so well with the JW world. They control your physical environment. And in that sense, it's the, you are to be at Kingdom Halls and with Jehovah's Witnesses only and not with people on the outside or in the world. Rigid rules, I mean, yes, everything from the way your dress and grooming should be to not accepting blood donations, which then literally can take your life. There's so many of them. This video, I'm not going to be diving into that, but it's definitely something you should look into. In the information things, there is discouragement of access to outside sources of information. That is huge in the JW world. They tell you anything outside of their information they give you, if it's negative especially, it's all lies, it's apostate lies. They really, really strongly discourage looking at anything other than what they are feeding you. They have an outsider doctrine, very true. Case in point, I mentioned this in my video a couple videos ago, I think it was the Q&A one, about the shunning and how in courts in Canada they said, oh yeah, shunning is up to every individual. We do not force that. The only thing we ask is that your spiritual relationship changes, but your normal family relationship doesn't have to change. That's what they're feeding the outside world, where when you're on the inside, you absolutely know that's a load of crap. You are to shun. If you do not shun, in the Elder's book, it tells you that you run the risk of, one, they counsel you first of all. So if you are having unnecessary interaction with people disfellowshipped, disassociated, you're going to be counseled, strongly counseled. If you continue, you run the risk of losing, whether you're an elder or a ministerial servant or a pioneer, you could have those taken away from you. If all else fails and you're still associating with that family member or that friend, you will get disfellowshipped. That is a huge difference from what they're telling the outside. So there's that. Under thought, they have thought stopping techniques, which is a really big thing they do in that organization, where it's like if you start having doubts, you are to shut that down. You pray, you meditate to Jehovah, you put it in his hands. You do not need to worry about that. An all or nothing, good, evil, us versus them kind of mentality. Yes. I mean, you are in the truth. You are the only true religion. Everybody on the outside is the world. It's an us versus them, very big thing. Everybody on that side is evil. Only those in the organization are good. It is so freaking huge. Emotional. They have a lot of feeling chosen or special. You are the truth. You are the only true religion. You're the only ones who know the truth. You're the only ones who know the true God. I would say that was huge as far as making you feel special and chosen. They use a lot of guilt manipulation. Yeah, we're not going into this. This is not the point of this video. So anyways, the question was, do you think it's a cult? 150% yes, it is a cult. It is a very dangerous cult. Is this Jonestown? Absolutely not. Is this Scientology? No, but their doctrines, the way that they treat people who are in it and the way they treat people who leave, it's all dangerous. People's mental state is completely ruined by this organization to the point that so many people sadly cannot handle the shunning when they leave. They take their own lives. You have the fact that their blood doctrine, that again has no biblical basis, has killed thousands upon thousands of people through the years, and they have blood on their hands. It's horrible. It's terrible. And yes, it's a cult, and I hate it. So, okay. Moving on. Sorry, I got a little long-winded there and distracted, but if you have not researched the bite model, which I can promise you if you're watching this video, you most likely have, it's very, very, very important to look at that. If you were somebody watching this who was in, please look at that with open eyes and don't just shut it down and say, oh no, it's not a cult. That's what anybody in a cult is going to say. Yeah, I'm not in a cult. Why would you admit you're in a cult? So that was a question. I also had this same person asked me if JWs have rules, kind of like the Mormons when it comes to marriages. So, I know like Mormons get married and have special temple ceremonies. Jehovah's Witnesses don't do that. They don't have a ton of rules in regards to marriage. There's not some special temple ceremony you do. It is important to get married in a kingdom hall, but not everyone does. They say it's like starting your marriage out right by getting married in God's house, but anyone can go. Like it's, even if you have family that are worldly and not Jehovah's Witnesses, they're more than welcome to that ceremony. It's nothing special. I'm not sure, but I'm like 90% sure you're supposed to be married by an elder. I don't think like a servant can give your talk. I could be wrong. If you have more information on that, correct me if I'm wrong down below. But I think at least the vows have to be done by an elder because they're the ordained ministers. I could be wrong about that. But nothing like weird about JW marriages. They're pretty standard. They do have rules though, as far as like the reception, like your music. Oh, that is one thing. You shouldn't use worldly music for your ceremony. You're supposed to use only like kingdom melodies to like walk down the aisle. I did not get that memo when I got married. We got married in the Kingdom Hall. We did use like Canon D, which like every wedding does. It wasn't until after that I realized that I wasn't supposed to do that technically, but I guess I got away with it. I don't know. If you're not getting married in a Kingdom Hall, it's a little bit more lenient. You can, I think, use what music you want, but your reception, you shouldn't have like music with cuss words or like worldly themes to them. You're supposed to be dignified and there shouldn't be a lot of excessive drinking. Does this actually happen? No. You do not do toasts. You do not do speeches like the best man or maid of honor speeches. There's nothing like that they do. That's like, they don't toast. That's something about Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know if I've ever discussed that in my videos, but, toasting is very wrong. And that was one of the first things we started doing when we were like fading, was like toasting our drinks at dinners as families. And like our kids love it now. And literally they toast everything from their donuts to their morning milk. So, uh, sidetracked again. That's a weird thing about JWs haven't talked about. So yeah, nothing weird about their weddings. It's pretty normal. It's just very dignified. And again, there's a lot of those like worldly traditions that are not done at Jehovah's Witness weddings. So there's something there. One of these days, if I can find, I think we have video of our wedding somewhere. Maybe we probably lost that. Sad thing. Now that we're on the subject of weddings, I lost my wedding dress sometime in the last, how long we married? 18 years. I'm like 99.9% sure it's in my parents' basement somewhere, which means I will never see it. And that is something that has been very sad for me, because like I would love to have my wedding dress to like show my daughter, or there's like really cute photo shoots you can do with your girl when they get a little bit bigger and they can kind of wear it. And I'm very sad about that. I loved my wedding dress. So I'm hoping by some miracle my parents find it and are kind enough to give it back to me. But sadly, I think my wedding dress is lost forever, and that kind of breaks my heart. So it's a bummer. It was a David's bridal wedding dress, so it wasn't anything like super special, but it was special to me. I loved that dress, and who knows, maybe one day I'll find it on like Marketplace, because it was the ultimate early 2000s wedding style dress with the like bunched bottom. I'll put a picture here. Look at that beautiful dress. So yeah, if anybody has that dress, you should send it to me. No, just kidding. I'm holding out hope that at some point in my life I will find my beautiful dress again and be able to at least hold on to it. I'm not asking my daughter to wear my dress at her wedding, so nothing like that. But I would like to do some of the traditions I've seen where it's like you can sew a piece of your dress into your daughter's wedding dress, and or like have it a part of the bouquet, and like those types of traditions that you normally wouldn't do as a Jehovah's Witness. I would love to be able to do now, and I don't have my dress, and that sucks. Okay, moving on. Next question. I had a few questions about this, so I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit more. And that question was, what do Jehovah's Witnesses believe about Jesus? Do they believe he's God? Pretty much, I had a couple of these, like, do they acknowledge him as the Son of God? So let's talk a little bit about this, shall we? So they believe that Jesus is the Son of God. They believe that he was the first creation. So they do believe he is the Son of God. He is not a God in any way, shape, or form, which is why they are very against the Trinity, because they said he is totally different. He is purely just the Son, and he has set an example for when he was especially on earth, during his ministry and stuff. That's what they claim to follow, is Jesus's example of how he lived his life, how he treated people, his ministry. They also say he was Michael the archangel, and that's all I know about that. So I'm reading this from the Insight book. This is how they explain Jesus, okay? He is the Son of God. He was God's first creation. It also said that Jesus was used by God, Jehovah, in the creation of all other things. Though he did share in the creative works, he is not a co-creator with his Father, because the power all came from God and his active force, Holy Spirit. So rather than being a co-creator, Jesus was just an agent or an instrument that was used by Jehovah to help with creating everything. Again, they're trying to really make that difference between God and Jesus, because they don't want there to be any sort of confusion of God and Jesus being anyway in the same likeness or the same sphere, like not supporting that Trinity kind of thought process, if that makes sense. He was sent to earth as a sacrifice so that we could then gain access to a relationship with God. And they say that is why we pray in Jesus's name. Amen. because if we don't pray that way, then obviously we wouldn't be able to have access to God through prayer. In 1914 was when they believed that Jesus was put on the throne with the angels in heaven, and he's on that throne still to this day until Armageddon happens, and he will be there through the 1,000-year reign. So there you go. I had another question. Why do they buy so much real estate when the end is coming soon? That's a great question. So they have claimed that all of these facilities and buildings that they are building will be the only thing that like will survive Armageddon, and we're going to still need these things in the new system to help with the preaching work that will be happening with those being resurrected in paradise. So when they built the big Warwick headquarters, that was a huge project, and they kept reiterating how like this will be used by Jehovah in the new system. I think at even some point they were saying like the building of this may not even be finished when Armageddon happens, but we were still going to work on this because we're going to need it in that new system. So there you go. That's why they're buying real estate, because all of these buildings will have to be used in the new world to help with the educating of all the people being resurrected. So there you go. They tell their followers to be simple and live simplified lives and simplify all the time. Like sell everything. You don't need to have a big home. You don't need all this stuff. You don't need the boats and the RVs. Like you should be living such a simple life that it's not hard to walk away from it all when Armageddon happens. But then they're also storing up all of this real estate now. I mean, so much. But it's okay for them because it's going to be used by Jehovah, apparently. Why did they need all that money? They need all the money to fight in the courts that they're fighting. They need to pay lawyers, really good lawyers, because of the amount of court battles they have going on and will continue to have going on. I don't know if that's accurate. That is what my gut tells me. I wish there was a way to really follow the money trail and see where all of their money is going, but I can promise you they are spending a lot on lawyers. So like the Norway trial, I've talked a lot about that one just because it's so like in the forefront, and it's still not done. I think it's now going to like the European Supreme Court. Jehovah's Witnesses claimed, oh yeah, we won this, but that's not done yet. The lawyer that they were using in court, they had to admit this. This lawyer they used ended up costing them $450,000. They need money because of this kind of stuff. This is one court case, and that was only one time. They've fought in so many times with Norway. They're continuing to. They're using that money and all these donations for not only their real estate, but for lawyers and court fees and all of that. So it's very sad when you think about it, because the majority of Jehovah's Witnesses are so poor, and yet are constantly told the story of the widow in the Bible that was donating even just that small coin, and how even just the smallest amount will go a long way. So like we know you might not have a lot, but even $10-$20 will go a long way for us. Yeah, it's going to go a long way in your court cases, and your poor followers are like struggling and barely can feed their families, but it's okay because you're getting their money. That stuff makes me so angry. The same person also asked me, do the members in the organization know that they only started refusing blood transfusions in the 1940s? I don't actually know if they know that. I didn't know that. I just thought it was something that they have had for decades and years since the beginning of their starting. That could also be just because I didn't feel the need to research it. I'd been told since I was a baby that we don't do blood, and here's your scriptures why we don't take blood transfusions. And I was like, okay, yep, that makes sense. So I don't think the majority know. I truly feel like even those who have been in this organization for decades, my mom is in her 70s. She was a third generation. I think they are just so brainwashed that when these changes happen, it's like their brain shuts that down and is like they don't even question it and don't think about it. So it's very sad. I don't think the majority of probably younger people like my age, I'm not young, but like, the younger generations knew that like they were okay with blood transfusions until the 40s. I mean, they used to have Christmas trees in their like headquarters forever ago. And I do know like they would talk about that because there would be like, there was photos and some of the like history of them, of like their lunchroom or something that had a Christmas tree. And I remember they'd be like, well, they thought Christmas was a Christian holiday. And when they did more research, they realized it was wrong. And that's why it became wrong to do. So again, I just think they're so brainwashed. They have been told and taught to shut down that critical thinking of their brain. And those, again, the bite model I was talking about a little bit earlier, those thought stopping techniques, like they're so good at that that they can change things. And there's not a question or a person that's like, that's kind of strange that, they did that, because they're just told like, don't question it, because if you question it, you're questioning God, and God doesn't get things wrong. Instead of it being like, maybe the governing body got things wrong. Nope, it's all on God's shoulders. So if you're questioning it, you're questioning him directly. I wish more people did more research on the actual organization and the shifts that they've had and the changes they've made, because I think that could also be something that wakes people up, is seeing these major doctrinal changes that like shouldn't have changed the way they did. But they're not going to do that, sadly. So I think those are the few questions I got through. I feel like I have been so behind on keeping up on my comments, so there may have been some more that came through. And if they did, sorry. I'll do some more like Q&As like thrown in with videos just to like answer questions that come across. But now I wanted to do I'm going to take a chapter out of the Bethany book, aka Stop the Shunning channel, where she had her like F that gratitude journal. And I just wanted to touch on a few things that if I wasn't free, here's what my life would look like right now. So today is Sunday. It is 3:40 in the afternoon. If I wasn't free, I would be on day 2 of waking my children up, getting them dressed, and making them sit for a long amount of time. Saturday, we would have woken up early. They would have had to sit in the car and either stay in their car seats all morning as we went to calls and got in and out of the car, or they would have been in a stroller, or walking on the street doing door-to-door work early in the morning when it's just not fun to do. Would they have gotten a reward? Yes, they would have gotten a snack at our break. But that's what they would have had to do. And then Sunday, we wake up, get dressed again, have to go sit for almost 2 hours like good little children and not make any noises in the congregation, and sit there during meeting and watchtower study. F that. If I wasn't free, I would be mentally preparing myself for the 3-day regional convention that would be coming up anytime now. Ours was usually in June, so in the next few weeks, I would be having to mentally prepare myself to sit for 3 full days with 2 children who don't like to sit still at home, not even for a full movie, let alone for boring talks in a boring, quiet, stuffy auditorium. And they would have to just deal with it, whether they wanted to do it or not. You're there all day. So I think a normal session is from about like 9:30 to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. Sundays you get out a little bit earlier. You have like an hour break midday for your lunchtime. So they could like kind of walk around a little bit then. But again, you're in dress clothes. You are 5 years old and 3 years old. There's not much you can do. You're stuck with mom and dad. You could run around a little bit outside, but it's next to the parking lot. So mom would be yelling at you, stay by me, don't go too far. There's cars everywhere. The amount of, I don't know if you can tell, I'm literally getting like anxiety talking about this. The thought of that makes me want to like cry. I would be mentally preparing myself from the day that it was announced, which normally is in January, February, when you start getting your dates for convention, all the way until the actual convention. Oh my God, F that. F that. I cannot imagine in any world where I would ever want to sit 3 days solid with my children in an auditorium where they're meant to just sit there and be quiet. That sounds beyond miserable to me. So F that. If I wasn't free, I would be dealing with still the anxiety of every meeting and trying to get my kids ready on time, hoping that they sit still, hoping they aren't having a bad day and throwing fits, because you are looked at, you are judged. If your kids are too loud, people are giving you the eye. Like, what are you doing? Take them in back, spank their butts. Absolutely not. Or if they are being good, my daughter is 5 and she should be able to comment. If she doesn't feel like commenting, I'd be getting the looks of like, why isn't she participating? Why doesn't she want to participate? My son, who is 3, would never be able to sit through a meeting. Like, I'm fully convinced about that, and I'm thankful every day that we don't have to. But I would be dealing with the judginess of how my kids are behaving and being normal kids every single meeting, multiple times a week. F that. If I wasn't free and we were still going to meetings the way we were before, which was mostly Zoom because it's easier with kids, I would be dealing with the passive aggressive comments from family and friends every single week, every single day. From the text messages of, we miss you, where have you been? Are you guys sick? Are you okay? Do you need anything? To the family dinners with the prayers that were so uncomfortable to sit through, that were very much pointed at us of, we thank you so much for this time to be together. And we also thank you so much for the time we get to be together in the Kingdom Hall at the meetings. And what a blessing that is. I'm not joking. Every single time we would be around family, even if we had been on Zoom and paying attention, the passive aggressiveness because we were not showing our faces physically in the Kingdom Hall would be something we'd be dealing with on the daily. F that. If I wasn't free, I would be having to put up with people who in the real world I do not want to be friends with. And you just have to smile and you have fake conversation with them and you're just such a loving Christian to them, and then you get in the car and you talk about them. That type of atmosphere is so common and it is so hard to deal with. You are not allowed to really not like anyone. You can talk to your family about hating that person, or can you believe what that person wore? Or can you believe the comment they made, or the car they're driving, or blah, 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 blah. But to their face, you were fake and phony. And how are you? It's so good to see you. How are things going? Oh my gosh, you look beautiful. Oh, I love your dress. Tell me more about your vacation you got to go on. Like, if I wasn't free, I would be dealing with the fakest, phoniest relationships. F that. Okay, those are the only ones I can think of right now. There's a lot of them. But for me, it all stems with my kids. The thought of conventions and assemblies and meetings and memorial and service with my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old, and getting judgmental looks because I'm either not making them do enough, which would be commenting at this age, or they're being kids and they're not sitting still or being quiet enough. That is so anxiety inducing. I can't even explain it. So F all of that. I'm so thankful I'm free. There are a lot of amazing things you can focus on when you're on the outside. But I think it's also, Bethany talked about this, like it's also really good to kind of think about the things that we would still be dealing with had you stayed in. So everyone should do that. And also go watch that video of hers. She had some awesome ones as well. I think she mentioned also the fake friendships and like the fake conversations you had to have. And that's just miserable. So there you go, guys. There's this week's video. Again, if you've asked a question in my comments and I didn't answer it on this one, I'm sorry. I am so behind. I'm not even joking. I have like hundreds of comments I haven't even been able to look at or respond to. Life is busy, and I feel like anymore when I'm sitting there trying to do stuff on my phone, my kids are like, Mom, 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 Mom. And now it's summertime, so I've got them both with me all the time, and it's going to take me some time. So give me some grace. I may not answer your comment ever. I'm going to try. The most I do is at least give it a heart, so I've seen it. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I think I'm going to be doing one of the videos I'm going to be working on very soon. When it's going to happen, I don't know. I kind of want to do like a day in the life of Jehovah's Witness and just show you what a day would be like. And I'm going to kind of do it to like the extreme. So like when I was pioneering what my day would look like, waking up for service, going out service all day, getting groceries afterwards, like something kind of silly like that. Just so people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, because I know I have quite a few of subscribers who are not JWs, never have been. I just want you to get an idea of what life is like in that organization and why it is so taxing. And I think why so many ex-JWs are speaking out, not just a religious belief. This is an entire way of life. Like, you live, breathe, eat, drink Jehovah's Witness. And if you're not doing enough, you carry so much guilt and shame. And it's just insane, the life you live. So that's a video I want to work on. Again, I don't know when that's going to happen because that's going to take a little bit more like production quality from me because I'm going to have to actually like set stuff up and do a whole thing. So, but that is coming at some point. This next week is the first full week of summer break for my daughter. And Memorial Day weekend is next weekend. I don't know what's happening. Nothing that I know of. I think I'm going to do some yard work. And that's about it. So I hope you guys are having a great one. I'm obviously having a much better week than I was last week when I had just such a downer mode with Mother's Day. Again, this healing process is a rough one and it is up and down all the time. So there you go. Have a great one. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I will see you guys next time.